ฟ้าก็ฟ้า
Be
เดียว
split
กั
name
น
of the game here, and there are 3 members of
แต่
Nongshim.
จันทร์ดูคล้า
Thing
ย
though, the
ลำเอี
Reckoning and the
ย
Armageddon are on
ง
the other side of the map.
ส่อง
They are
แส
not going to reach
ง
towards
ล
that
ง
B
มา
side.
เพียงเสี้ยวสำหรับผู้ชมที่ชมอยู่ตอนนี้นะครับอย่าลืมกดไลค์กด Subscribe Channel ให้ด้วยนะครับและติดตามการสตรีมของผมได้ที่ sooflight.com ครับลิงก์อยู่ด้านล่างครับ
On the global stage since then, it's time for redemption to see if the train is going to keep on rolling.
Here we go, folks. Into the pistol. Heretic start on defense.
แล้วเปิดไปก่อน
Alright, we've
เล
got this play
ย
up through connector here.
วูดอยู่คนเดียววูดตัน
Leave me the Prowler that tries to get him in.
Wood
Wood on
done.
the breach this time around. A fault
Ying.
line comes out at a decent time.
Could be in a bit of trouble if there's a pop flash out of this. But
Oh,
no,
yeah,
it's going to be
yeah,
a pivot
yeah,
towards the
yeah.
spawn. The minimap is bizarre right now. Triple push from Team
Keep high,
Heretics
la.
all the way through B.
เบนจี้
Creeping into the spawn of
เบ
the
นจี้โดนกระทืบ
attackers.
ครับแต่อ
Gonna
อก
defeat
ก่อ
a
น
lot of
ตั้ง
this
ใจรีเทค
KJ
อยู่แล้วอย่างนี้
placed in
งาน
A main.
งานเข้าแล้วเป็นเล็กงานเข้าแล้วบูมบอกเลยเป็นเล็กงานเข้า
There's just no way that they're going to expect this retake to be coming from all of these angles. Benji Fishy biding his time right now, allowing the rest of the players to get
โอ้
in
งาน
position.
เข้าแล้ว
They
ครับ
have
โด
to
น
know
ลุ
they're
ม
on the
ฮะ
clock though. Look at the lurk coming in from Boom. They'll be turning up
แต่
from
เป็น
A
เล็กก็
main.
แก้หน้างาน
In
ดัน
time,
เหมือน
PRX
กัน
wanna push through.
ไม่วางครับ
Flash in the direction.
แก้หน้างานแก้หน้างานและเหรียญพี่เหรียญรีคอนคนดี
Down on the side, that Haunt does give a lot of information now.
Wood
PRX
player
want to push
play.
ahead of this wide, but
Wood
look,
player play.
going to grab well here. Devi's going to sit.
เฮ้ยแล้วขวาไม่
And
เช็ค
then Wood's going to take first contact, but
Oh.
Devi's tucked in the corner. It's a 2 for 2.
หูโปรเพเยอร์
Second buys this time, opts to double back. There's no plant yet.
No, they've got enough time that they want to try to pivot to B, but these 1v1s being taken are awkward for a second. Lovely trade brings it to the 2 versus 2, and in the meantime,
เหี้ยบุก
had been
A
making his
ตี
way over
บีบุก
towards this
A
B
สู่
site.
ทูบี
It's going to be awkward for Team Heretics on this reclear. There's so many positions that these last 2 players could be tucked into, but they opt
เหี้ย
the double halls play together.
เป็นเล็กฉลาดนะ
Of course, Patman
เป็นเล็ก
dubs as the
แก้โดยการ
handler
ที่แบบ
of the
ว่า
PRX team. He's a
Ooh,
tight
Pat.
leash on them. And deals with Mini Boo as he tries to approach from B long. It's on Boo. Now they know he's here. The Horde reveals his location. And the IGL now needs to make a play for Halls. He knows what the setup is.
Pat.
But he has to face it. Natty. And Patman deals with it as PRX with the pistol.
That is the steady hands of the man who has just been a consistent element since joining this PRX team. Comes up in the first pistol round for his global
เอาแล้วไง
debut.
เหี้ยเป็นเล็ก
Pivotal
แม่ง
2K
กลาง
from
เกมแม่ง
Patman
ถึง
wins
ว่ะ
that
ทุกคน
towards long. What a bizarre pistol to
กลาง
start
เกม
off
เป็น
this
เล็กคื
game.
อ
The map being entirely flipped by both
คือดูดีเลย
sides.
ฮะเพราะว่า
PRX making that nice pivot with those 30 seconds or so remaining, getting over to
Let's
get
fucking
that
go.
Rotation, the double back on A when Benji got taken low. But PRX have a clear call to hit that B side now.
ขออนุญาตแท็กในดิสนะ
Let's see what they got for this anti-eco. It's a group up towards that B side. Note that the shear wall has been placed behind them.
This is looking just absolutely free for PRX here. Team Heretics opt to go for this gamble stack towards the A site. They're not going to find a thing, and at that they've got all classics. But of course, when you're running this Euro, you are going to always be prioritizing just farming up those orbs. The dimensional drift has just been one of the highest power ultimates in the meta this year.
Razorvine deployed horses. It's tough for Benji, and Jing explodes. It's an easy judge pickup. And now for the rest of Team Heretics,
นี่ไงเจอจัดน้องจริง
they're
เลย
going to
เนี่ย
have to likely perish to the spike. Sorry, Sliggy, no Molly's here, mate.
Feels like running Raze on this map is unorthodox, doesn't do justice to the agent being played here. It is so uncommon. And that kind of play, that double satchel back into halls, we're going to be seeing a lot of that from Jing, taking opening engagements, being set up to try and get in really deep with these satchels on attack. Divide with this Ghost, hoping to just pick off
โอ๊ย
a couple players right now.
On a second guess, fault line. They're trying to catch him out. Some old orbs on the table here, though, for PRX. If Heretics get a little bit too close, Oriens will have his. And the rest of PRX have already gotten out of dodge. And that'll be that. 4 perish to the spike for Heretics. But now, we're well and truly on the road. And this is a comp from PRX that we've seen them pick up very recently to good success. We're kind of figuring out on the fly exactly how they're going to make best use of this Raze mobility.
I mean, after watching months of Teo on this map, both teams have come out with very unique approaches. If these guys tried to do any prep for each other, that is out the window entirely. This is going to be who can call best on the fly, who can adapt the most, or
Don't
are these
forget,
just going to be
don't
two
jinx
teams running it down
น่า
on
จะ
each
เจอ
other?
We might
จัด
get
เยอะ
the
ว่ะ
Haymaker.
ดูแลว
Look
แบบ
at
เนี้
the
ย
util set up for this A
อุ๊
main
ยอุ๊ย
fight.
อุ๊ย
Mini
มินิ
Boo
บู
fancies
ฝืน
a
หรือเปล่า
little bit.
ฝืนหรือเปล่า
PRX is slower on the uptake.
ฝืนไหม
It's
ไม่
slowed
ฝืน
down
หรอ
them, but they're gonna try
ไม่
and
ฝื
follow
น
this
นะ
rage utility.
แล้ว
Mini
ว้า
Boo makes a swing. Something gets ahead of it. Rien's though able to follow up on the grab well, and now will take up this position of boxes. Stunning stuff for Rien's. Just what the doctor ordered. Forsaken he is out of the game essentially. How do we break back in? We're on the breach.
In a situation like that, you're going to see this utility from the Team Heretic side be so powerful. Honestly, remarkable that something is
แม่งผ่าน
even
ความ
able
เค
to
ออส
get
มา
that
ได้
first
ฮะมิ
blood.
นิบู
You're trapped in the grab well. There's a stun being thrown onto him as well. Paper X off to go
พี่เหรียญ
for a
พี่เหรียญ
pretty loose call here. Just triple swinging through the
โอ้
smoke.
พี่เหรียญใช้แวนดอลที่เร็วที่สุดในเกมฮะ
Just doesn't work out.
Let's go. Nice move.
Not the bonus I think the PRX were
พี่
looking
เหรียญ
for. Heretics really taking control of that A main position, and PRX might be tempted to
แวน
test
ดอล
them
ที่เร็วที่สุดในเกม
Placing swarm grenade.
Here we go. This is Paper X economy on the line in their first buy round. A lot of emphasis towards mid. It looks like they just want to go for
ไม่
a
ยิงฮะ
very
ยิงพอ
quick A splitter.
สตาร์ท
Threaten that to
กระ
open
โด
things
ด
up. Here comes that double satchel.
พี่วุฒิอ้าวแล้วโดนแล้วโอ้โหน้องจริงว่ะ
Provides having to deal with Benji. And
Don't think
now
you jack.
you're trapped if you're Rien's in A main. He's only good for the one.
Down A.
Minibu needs
Ui.
to try and find a way into the game, but he's at risk of being crunched on here as Forsaken gets the spike down.
Spike planted.
Clock is ticking for
Oh,
Minibu, and eventually he'll be
Oi.
stuck out of
เชีย
position.
ร์ไปเบอร์เล็กดุจัง
It's on
วะ
Boo. Stuck here for Flowers, and there's not a
Hey.
whole lot to be done.
เฮียเอาจัด
That's
ไม่เบอร์เล็กเอา
exactly
จัด
what you're going to expect from this Paper
ที่
X
น้องจริง
team.
โดด
Just
แบบ
mental
โค้ง
double
ๆเลยฮะ
satchel from Jing that you're never going to be prepared for. You're never
เอ้ย
screaming
อยากไปตรงไหน
against
บ
this.
อกครับ น้องจริง
They
ไป
are
ให้
a one-of-one team, and Jing is a one-of-one raise. And it's going to come down to these adaptations on the fly. Boo caught by something. Paper X in danger of being on an eco if they lost that round, but taking it in convincing fashion.
This is no way you're ready for this.
Yeah, no, I mean, having to make that
Udi.
adjustment. Look at him. He dodges the fault line as well. That movement is so smooth.
And again, we're seeing Heretics try and slow the game down with these nebulae, right? Smoke up and force PRX to flash through them. That's another situation where
แม่งสั่งได้ดั่งใจ
the attempt to
ว่ะ
stall for Heretics is utterly defeated.
The first round,
แม่งสั่งได้ดั่งใจ
this
ว่ะ
is
น้
the
อง
first
จริง
round. We're
อะ
going to have an ultimate on the playing field. Rien's has already put up 6 kills, has gotten to that Nightfall relatively early. So
What?
perhaps that could be the critical element of Team Heretics winning this buy round that does just have Boo on a bucky.
That was just really a token effort for PRX to keep Benji interested here over towards Connected, because they pulled out after that Prowler was deployed over towards this B side.
ผมไปเบอร์เล็กเลือกเพลิ
There
ง
was a
มาด้วย
Prowler
ฮะ
reclear just then from Rien's towards Art, and now opting to double up control A main with Mini Boo. Paper X though, they have just slowly pivoted over towards this B
โอ้โห
side.
แล้วโดน
Full
โอ้โห
X
ดูของดิ
utility
แล้วเล่นไงอะ เล่นไงอะ
At the moment, that Molly is going to keep Jing at bay. They know
He's
who
overwhelmed.
has this bucky. They can just try to avoid him.
He clears the Razor Vine though, so there's an option for Boo to spring forth should he need to, but he's sat here with the bucky. It's an awkward
ยังยื้อให้
lane
อยู่
to
ฮะ
be on.
บู
Patience
บู
for Boo. He's gonna
บู
get
ไม่
shot
ได้
through the
หม
wall
ด
though. Benji
เล่น
can't
ดี
hold
จัง
mid,
วะ
only
เบอร์
finds
เล็ก
his one. And now
โอ้
from
เหรียญ
Power, Heretics have to make the play.
อู้
God, that happened in light speed.
เฮ้ยเปเปอร์เล็ก
PRX rack up another one.
เชี่ย
And this is two teams that are
ก
going
ลั
to
บมา
fight
แล้วว่ะ
round
Paper
after
Leg
round to impose their will on each
ไอ้
other.
เหี้ยดุจัง
There's no
วะ
backing down from here.
This Paper X team that has gone
มึน
on
เล
the
ย
run
ฮะ
to get here have maintained that lightning fast, exciting play, but it's just so much more regimented than when their stage 1 started, when they were going 0-3, when they looked down and out. That execution is fantastic,
enemy
and I
remaining.
love that they are able to slow down the game and get into that little tight double peak jiggle to deal with the Bucky backside. And even in that moment,
Yeah.
something takes the fight, but he
แพทแม่งโหด
backs
ว่ะ
off. They just play safe, disciplined. When
เอา
they
แล้ว
need
จนเลยเหรอ
to.
เอาเมื่อกี้
Fully
บัก
on
กี้
display
มึง
in
ยัง
a
ไม่
round
จน
like
อีกเหรอ
that, and it's put Team Heretics on an eco.
เอาเมื่อกี้มึงฟอส
Maybe
ได้บัก
PRX
กี้
leans towards back hole.
GG,
You're
man.
not gonna waste too much time.
จีจี้
Getting up onto this B side. Once again, C's thrown in. Jing disrespects the Razor Vine. Boo is
ไอ้
absolutely
เหี้ย
not
ใช้
ready
เน
for
ต
that.
เคลียร์ทางแล้วโดดเข้าไปฮะ น้องจริงฮะ โอ้โห
Jing is unchained. Cannot be stopped at this
Cool.
stage.
คู่
Heretics don't quite have the arsenal to slow them down meaningfully. Grabwell is going to be avoided by Rienzi. Extricates himself, but now the boys are
Jing.
back. Flooding into Link.
ให้ตายเถอะ
Ruthless, just taking the fight to the players with the sheriffs. When you have Jing on your team, one of the greatest Raze players in the history of this game, just let him run wild. Build your plays around him. No one's running the Raze here.
แม่งโหดจริง
They
ว่ะเป็น
make
ตัวเล็ก
it work.
แม่งแบบเล่น
Just
เกมไวมาก
disruptive when he's getting his pace into back halls.
How is Boo supposed to establish a foothold in halls against this Fade util, against the Vice, util that gets thrown down there?
It's too overwhelming. They can't anchor this site right now. They're going to have to pivot to trying to play towards a retake, and especially out of this timeout, Rians has still been holding on to that Nightfall. They're getting close to other great ultimates. And so that should allow them to just safely pivot off the site, absorb that initial utility that PaperX are throwing, which has been a tsunami wave, and then come back in with those ultimates after the fact.
เป็นสัญญาณที่ดีถือว่าฟอร์ม
So
เก่า
much
ๆกลั
of
บ
what
มา
we've seen from PaperX in this game has really broken your average conditioning on a map like this. You're not playing against the average
แล้วเงินที่
Valorant
บอก
team
โอน
if
ต้น
you're
เกมใส่
Heretics
ไปยัง
now.
หล่อเฮียอะแล้วดูแม่งเล่นดิ
More ultimates have been developed on the PRX side though, including that Showstopper and that Steel Garden. And so far it's been about a tease towards Art or Connector early in the round, and then wholesale PRX have pulled out towards that B side of the map. The one round where things went a little wrong for them was when they fight
พระรามสอง
main position, and Heretics have
มึงลาดพร้าวไอ้เหรียญเร็ว
throw up to smoke up and force PRX to take a risky flash out and get gunned down.
Oh, listen, when this PaperX team run into the Team Heretics,
เงินอยู่ในอากาศอยู่ที่มึงจะคว้ามันได้ไหม
slow them down, win those engagements.
แต่ตอนนี้เงินกูอยู่ที่เฮเลติก
Free sight, multiple
กิ
rounds.
จี้แมน
Now this round 7 is going to be pivotal to the outcome of this first half. 4 ultimates available for PaperX.
แม่งคว้าของกูไปแล้ว
But close to a couple more with their economy on the line. Full investment.
กิจี้
Fault line off the rip. Jing here. Expecting almost a push into Plaza by Heretics. It doesn't come. And now
Paper
they're
Leg
gonna start
แม่ง
clearing
เอาเงิน
into
กูไป
Connector. Wood has given up this space. Play a more passive line. He doesn't see them cross.
อะไรเอ้ยอยู่นี่เว้ย
The guts. Oh, he's headed over towards Art. Surely he doesn't wrap on this player. Benji's about to get real busy, folks, and he's dodged the rockets. However, Patman handles him. Once again, playing through these smokes, though. Boom slows the pace down. The shots have been
บู
good
ดุ
enough
มากบู
to make it something in Forsaken verse 3.
Who's next? Wood is slowly flanking. Nebula drops, but the ultimate is ripped by something. Going to get all the information on the side, clearing out Secret, just letting Forsaken know that he's safe to pivot towards this back area. They want to flip the map right now. Stuns coming through something. Feels like he's in so much
ชิบ
danger.
หายและทิ้งคนเดียวไว้
Just going to separate these two PaperX players. It's going to come down to individuals.
ยังไม่จบครับทนาย
Cosmic divide even being used here.
This is going to at least give a
Ui,
safe
ui,
pocket for
let-
something to get
Forsaken
that
เล่นดี
play.
อีกอะ
Jake crashed away
ฟอ
from
ร์
the
เคนเล่นดีอีก
bot
อะ
line. Oh, the timing for Forsaken.
Maybe Boot just has to watch too many angles. He's so scared. He knows that's, Forsaken could be going for him.
You got
โอ้ย
two
จีจี
initiators
ว่ะ
up here for Heretics. Decent
เงินอยู่ใน
util
อ
for
ว
this
กาศ
retake.
ว่ะ
The Cosmic
เฮ้ย
divide
อา
is
กาศนั่นไปไกลจังอ
a
ว
bit of
กา
an
ศ
issue. Forsaken's going to anchor here behind this Nebula. Information though is kind of out of date about where Heretics could be coming from. Now a bit more of an inkling. Forsaken, is he going to push
One
this?
enemy remains.
Something handles it there from A-Main, and Forsaken does his job. That is a 5-round lead already amassed by PRX.
That was the perfect swing timing from something in main. When the game gets chaotic, that is when PaperX thrive. Frankly, you could say the
ภาพเสียง
same
แม่ง
for
แพ
Team
ง
Heretics, but that's even more of
เสือก
PaperX's element than theirs. Rians used that Nightfall, but to no
One enemy
avail.
remaining.
And you're just seeing Mini placed in this uncomfortable situation. Has to watch a couple of different angles. They're feeling good.
Both brothers on the Heretic side have definitely looked overwhelmed in their position so far. And here's a double satchel play
โอ้
for
โหดูน้อง
Jing.
จีอุ้ย
You've got
อุ้ย
A-Main
ดูแผนดิ
especially
Oi.
after this half bite.
It's a cool way to take a main, that pop flash, double satchel, and they just want to continue this in. Teleport from something. Jing with a nade kill. Something beautiful. Lined up.
เฮ้ยเป็นเฮ้ยโอ้
Multiple
โหเป็นเล็ก
headshots. Making
Oi.
light work of this eco.
And now Heretics, you've got the double
เฮ้ยอะไรวะ
martial play available to you. Riente's going to have a crack, see what he can find. Jing has no time for it though, and Miniboo will get
โดนเลย
Don't do it.
โอ้
Oh,
โน
no. Something.
โอ้มา
This is a Masters, you can't do that. You can't do
เงิ
that
น
in the
อยู่
first
ใน
half
อา
of the
กาศอยู่
opening
ที่คุณ
game.
จะคว้ามันได้ไหม
Oh, buddy. That is cold. The opener. Oh, come on, man. That is a devious move. from something. inflicting 5,000 mental damage to Heretics early.
The 6-round lead wasn't already enough. Here's this
GG,
heavy detour play
man.
forced to boo out of that position. Bloody right between the shoulder blades. And it's all smiles for PRX right now, Wyatt. Rifles back in the hands of Heretics though. A focus over towards his art and a main split potentially.
They want to act fast. Here comes that Nightfall, clears out sight, A main, not going to ping onto anybody.
แม่งรวนหมดแล้วฝั่งนู้นแม่งรวนหมดแล้ว
Oh, Team Heretics is going to try to fight this. You could have
I
Mini
think
Boo
man,
try to
lady,
pop
she
flash
fine.
out with Paper X get onto the site. Steel Garden going to be ripped, going to connect onto everyone.
Yeah, okay, we're going to have that one in play. Divide is going to make it very hard for Heretics to defend this properly. They're going to have to give it up potentially, but they're anchored in. Miniboo sees a bit off that dimensional drift, but PRX have actually syncopated the tempo here, and there's a
โอ้
drift
แม่
over
งเล่น
the
โค
beam
ตรดุ
from the
เลยเวเบอร์เล็ก
defenders.
อะ
This
ไอ้
feels
เหี้ย
like
ลาว
a
หนึ่ง
new
แม่ง30 วิ
Paper
ถึ
X
งบอม
round
30
right
วิถึง
now.
บอม
Again, just slowing it down. They tap the plant. They want to
ไอ้
bait
เหี้ย
this
31
utility
วิ
out.
จบ
It's about to get messy, folks. Strap in. There's the ping. The Horde sees 2 Jing with a spray. Boo is down in dugouts. Something tries to emerge behind the flash, and Wood is caught with utilities hands. There is something. Closes the account. PRX show us another side to the coin. It's a pump fake, slow rolled on A that teases Heretics out.
ไอ้เหี้ย
This is simply not the Paper Rex of old. You are watching a new team. Everything they do there, controlling the tempo, is just utterly
โอ้จะ
fantastic.
เสียอันตีด้วยครับ
Perfect
โอ้
play.
วูด
They slow things
วูด
down.
ทำไรวะ
Some of those players from Team Heretics leave after that.
มึงไปพระรามสองเดี๋ยวนี้เลย
They tap the plant just to bait out that initiator utility.
ไอ้เหี้ยมึง
Then
กดยอม
they
แพ้เลย
get back in, post up, refight. It is picture perfect
อัน
valor
นี้แข่ง
from
ที่
this
โต
team.
รอนโตประเทศสหรัฐอเมริกา
All right, big breath here.
ใช่ปะไม่รู้
Hearing from Heretics and press
Đúng nghe
conferences
qua
and the
Toronto.
like, they're very aware of the sort of second place curse on them right now, but it's kind of not something they want to consider because of the road that still lies ahead of them here through our group stage.
แคนาดาโอ
They've
เค
said that they're not inexperienced kids anymore. You know what I mean? They feel like the issue more recently for them in that EMEA final where they got blown out by Fnatic was
แย่แล้วว่ะ
just the mental preparation. In general, they feel like they've got the experience to stay, you know, comfortable,
Yeah, man.
confident at this level.
จู่โจมรวดเร็วสายฟ้า
How
แล
they
บ
dig
ประเด็น
themselves out of this 7-round hole. They've used both their timeouts here. It's only round 10.
Last year, Heretics, they were the team from EU that really shocked the scene in the offseason. Hopes weren't super high for them. Then they come out swinging. They have a fantastic 2024 with just a crop of all of the upcoming talent. You have Mini Boo saying in that press conference yesterday, we're not the kids we were last year. They said they are mature now. They've got a mental coach added onto the team to try and get them over the finish line.
Maybe they should get off the starters
Yeah,
block
well,
Wyatt
man.
first. Just the one round.
I mean, devastating for either of these teams who are favorites in the group stage to immediately go
แม่งอะไร
0
ติดบวก
1.
ไม่รู้เลย
That game crashing. Didn't go into halls for something. It's tucked in that
เป็น
corner.
ไรเนี่ย
Benji not close enough to see it.
ไม่เท่าไหร่
They pulled out of
ไม่
halls
เท่าไหร่
entirely have Heretics, and again, this is just mostly a sheriff's
Oh,
round
hey,
still
yeah,
for
Lom,
Miniboo,
Lom,
who hasn't gotten into the game in a meaningful way yet either. Wyatt and PRX are swarming over B.
They just love this anti-eco B slam with Jin getting into the halls with a judge. This time, Boo's out of there. He's not trying to die to
คือ
that.
30 วิถึงบอมใหม่ไอ้เหี้ยแผนใหม่ไง
Heretics. Dig up here.
แผน
Forsaken
ใหม่
aware. And he's already seen that
Alec.
Prowler, knows it's coming. Fault line. Thrown out here. No one to catch onto, or perhaps the vice behind him, but Forsaken is confident. The standout player on this PRX roster. And boy howdy, he's sharp as a tack, folks.
He had an unreal run with
Hey.
Paper Rex when they went on that
ไอ้เหี้ยเฮลิซิก
you
มัน
know,
มีปืน
5-game
หรือ
win
เปล่าวะ
streak.
ทำไมมัน
When the train began
ไม่
rolling
มี
in
คิว
the
ฟีดมันเลย
playoffs
อ่ะ
qualify,
มันไม่
Forsaken
เฟี้ยว
was
เลยวะ
their most lethal player on any role that he had to be thrown on. Just the glue
You
of
mean-
this team.
you mean all of them, right?
Anything. I mean, yeah,
All of the
playing
roles.
5 different
เย็ด
regions
เจสัน
in
ครั
the
บ
lower final going plus 34.
Get someone who can do it all.
เหี้ยมันบอกแม่ง
This is
ค
gonna
ม
be a
จัดตอนนี้กูโคตรค
Huge
ม
amount of pressure. Heretics are feeling, at least those rifles are back.
So
Locked down to
tough.
work with. Cosmic Divide at the ready for Boo.
Paper X playing a 2-2-1 right now. Late in this half, slowing things down. They have been at their iconic lightning fast pace with devastating executes into these sites. Here they're just waiting out to see if Team Heretics want
นี่
to
แค่
go
ล่าง
for
น้อง
something
บี
more
แค่ล่างหลัก
proactive
มา
with
แล้
this
ว
breach that
นะ
they've
ล่าง
got.
หลักมัน
Mini Boo is
รั่วไปนะ
postured in A main
เอาอีก
right
แล้ว
now.
โดนเนี่ยฮะ
Conventional drift, so he's
โดน
going
อี
to
ก
get
แล้วโดน
spotted.
เฟกเฮ้ยไม่เฟก
A
นะ
lot of pressure at
มัน
the
อยู่เป็น
moment.
ฝูงเลยนะ
Hoping to fight ahead of it. There might be a safe pocket for something here to just emerge in. We'll call a cancel. Yep, these
There's no way.
มีล้วนมีอุ้ยแล้ว
That
เน็
might
ต
be a little bit audacious even for PRX.
โอ้
Mini Boo tries to
ป่ว
hold
ย
it. Jing is just
Oh.
a little better. The guy is running roughshod over the
ไอ้เหี้ย
defenders.
กดยอมแพ้ไม่น่า
And
เกลียด
Benji's
นะเอา
gonna
จริ
get
ง
corner timing most likely. Forsaken just rips him a new
กู
one.
ว่าเล่นต่อน่าเกลียดกว่า
And
ว่ะ
Boo again hands out wide, says, "What do you want me to do?"
3 players are spotted by the dimensional drift from something. He still gets out of it in secret. Jeez. 3 players, yeah, let's just hit the site with our 4 now. They really said, nah, I'd win. they do not slow the game down there. That's just crazy decision making. But all 5 of them are so on point. The guts, the confidence for something to get out there is crazy. And they
โอ้
follow
โห
up.
น้องจริงเฮ้ย
Team Heretics, they are divided. They're losing 1v1.
น้องจริงเอาอย่างนั้นเลยเหรอน้องจริง
Getting that
Did I get
crucial
inside your head?
opening kill for the team to get into that
We're
site.
sleeping, mate. We are sleeping.
Sleeping, says Nilzinho. The last time these 2 teams played, it was PRX that mathematically eliminated
Sleeping.
Heretics from Madrid last year. They said the emotions got the better of them. But now they're sleeping. Maybe they could use some of those.
Sleeping เหรอ
Jing pops himself up. It's the showstopper that's
ใคร
avoided
ง่วง
for
แม่
the
เย็ด
most part. Just he already cloned there in A main, so eyes turn towards Lincoln Art.
Does get some valuable information, even though it's unfortunate that that rocket was not able to get any value for the PaperX side. They had their eyes on mid, no pressure coming from Heretics there, so they're going to
ล้วน
go
หมดแล้ว
back
ว่ะ
to this B pivot. So many rounds for them. They've had the ability to hit the site with just 1 player anchoring
โอ้เบ
opportunity
น
for
จี้
Benjamin
ไม่ได้ใกล้เคียงเลยอ่ะ โอ้แย่นะว่ายิงมั่วตัวเลยฮะ
going to get overwhelmed by Yucho, but in fact, PaperX, they're just going to use 2 ultimates, that very safe cosmic divide to allow the free plants.
And they can fall back off this. We can go back to, though it's uncharacteristic, the post-plant spam set up for PRX, but they're more likely to play ahead of it. Now, this is a wrinkle in the plan. The lockdown will allow Heretics
โอ้
potentially
โห
filter in here,
โด
but
นเนต
something...
พังอีก
Oh, they got rid of their lockdown, never mind.
ไอ้
Something's happened to Wayne
เนี่ย
Bottom's time
มึง
here.
แหลงอะไรเนี่ย
As well, something wants to get some early spam.
All this due to not opening the side up enough. Minigu's going to go for it. He's able to find 2. And that's the best Heretics have looked at.
To pick into it, so that was very surprising as we got into this, but it's no surprise anymore. PaperX, they have been grinding this map before this tournament, and it is showing. This is some dominant, exceptional, and unique gameplay.
The words of Coach
เดี๋ยวไฟ
Nilzinho,
เอ็มที่เปิด
Heretics
มัน
have
เข้า
been
ไปตั้งชื่อใน
sleeping
เกมยังค
for
รับ
that first half. Hopefully, 11-1
กำลังจะเปิด
rings
ใหม่
to the
ฮะ
tune of the
เซิร์ฟเก่า
alarm
มัน
clock
เข้าไป
that
แล้ว
gets them
เซิร์ฟเก่า
in this
ขอ
game.
อภัยจริงๆระยำมาก
Minimu's already gotten his way onto this A site now, tapped up a little bit, and PRX have not quite shown themselves yet. Something lurks amongst the shadows. That's a bloody good timing, at least for one. What a shot! Boo just runs into it. We can deal with him at least. Player advantage for PRX though.
That is a late swing, but a crucial kill from Wu. Benji can catch the timing. He would have to be the one for Heretics right now to save them, to get this pistol round, keep them in the game.
Looks good. Jing, however, inching around the corner. It's a very low health Woot that's able to
ได้
dispatch
อยู่
him.
2-2
Now we've got a God's Honest 2 versus 2, and here's Forsaken, gets the spike loose. It's up
เอา
to Benji.
เอาเบนเอา
Prowler, play
เบนเอา
Patman sees his quarry.
มึงจะเป็นหัวแถวไหม
Not quite ready to finish the job.
หรือมึงจะเป็นหางหมา
35 seconds left in the
เออ
round. Patman holds his
ผมว่ามึงเลือก
ground.
ละ
A diabolical start to the second half for Team Heretics. It might already be over.
He's won both pistols for this team. Obviously, Heretics, they're going to have to come into this with a tragic force. Hope that they can look like G2 with some stingers, maybe. This
เซิร์ฟ
is
ใหม่
stunning
22 กรกฎาคม
for PaperX.
นะครับ22 กรกฎาคมทำอย่างดีเลย
Finish off.
ไม่ดีไม่เปิด 22 กรกฎาคม
Forsaken is loving it.
Just doing the little things right. There's something with the confidence to push
Hey,
out
hey,
that smoke when
baby,
Divine's
baby,
being
baby.
pressured. They fight together. The fundamentals are just so clean right now. What a joy this is to see PaperX in prime form.
Round number
White
14.
hot.
That could be the last of the game, but there is a stack on the B side. Patman, though, takes that one for the team. Forsaken finds his, and then PRX realizes action elsewhere.
เอานึกว่ากดใส่เว็บไป 10K แม่งขึ้น 1K
Amazing, the second wave here from Heretics Cross.
ค่าเสือกแม่งถูกจัดเลยว่ะทนาย
Swing out, he will. Gets the first tap down and double swing. Forsaken follows it on mini
GG.
on the lurk. And it's the IGL, the big brother of the team.
In the unenviable position of having to salvage an impossible
13-1
situation for his team. This would be one of the nastiest losses that Heretics have suffered in quite some time. Boo here's going to try and go to work with him, but
ไอ้
Divide
เหี้
shuts the
ย
book
ไม่
on
มี
his
ไฮ
first
ไล
match.
ท์เฮลิจิกเลยครับทุกคน
Here in Toronto.
ทำไมมันแย่อย่างนี้วะ
Are back.
โอ้ยจริงจ่อหู
Only one person that's
Shit,
rated
oh, well.
13-1. Benji Fishy had said he wants to play against PaperX, and
He got his wish.
He got his wish. He might be regretting that, but we are heading to a map pick where Heretics have looked really good with this Neon.
Look at this push up already from PRX on the defense side. They absolutely want to brawl. Heretics, though, have to be ready for it. But
โอ้
how?
มันยิงนาน
How
จั
do
ง
you
วะไอ้
stand
เหี้ย
against this avalanche of defenders? Wood is going to limp away from that early encounter. Here's one shot. Has to cross the mid that Divide has on lock.
Yeah, doubled up even with something, and Divide had been patiently waiting on that angle anyhow. Nice little 10-second round coming through to open
yes.
this game. PaperX yet to lose a pistol. Heretics
PaperX
yet to
แม่งเหนี
gain
ยวมาเยอะเลย
an ounce of momentum.
And encounters like this early in the round are just going to stretch your cohesion in these firefights. To the
โอ้ย
limit.
แพทเฮีย
What we saw there, frankly, is classic PaperX on this map. They play standard stuff, but they play defense in a far more proactive way than most of the teams in the current meta. Most teams play a lot of safe positions, then go for retakes. They are constantly doing 4-man, 3-man pushes down, A main, down B main. Heretics are going to need to be very concerned with that.
แล้วต้องแบบ
Inching
แบบ
now over towards
เซ
the
ฟ
east
เต็
side
ม
of the
เลย
map.
ฮะไม่มีใครแหลมเกาะครึ่งปืนอื่นมาเลย เราหน้าต้องการเกาะใหญ่ปืนใหญ่ฮะ
Stand of Viper will hear from
เรา
Heretics.
นี้เหมือน
Definitely indicates
Yom
they
ไปแล้ว
tend to head this way momentarily. Looks like already the Dizzy is trying to scout the
ถือว่า
way.
เยี่ยมนะถือว่าเยี่ยมนะ
Meek Neon composition. It's going to be tough to find a foothold though. As something takes his and gets off the line.
Fair amount of damage done though. Now it's something with the rifle. I
yeah.
may want to toss that over to Forsaken or Divide if they can actually meet up, and it looks like that's going to be the case. The much healthier full armor Divide will take control of that Vandalist. Team Heretics want to pivot back towards mid. With this Neon, they like to go for a lot of B splits, a lot of fast-paced action.
Divide here from multiple angles can operate here. Can play off the
ขอย
turret.
ก็บอกขอยก็บอกอ้าว
Try and push up in the kitchen. Here's
ยัง
something.
รีโหลดอยู่เลยพี่ชายในเจล
There it is. Another quick round as PRX don't give an inch.
ขอแค่แฉลมฮะแฉลมแต่ว่าซัมติงให้เลยฮะเสกกระบาล
Heretics invested nothing, so
Something
they can
white
get the
that they
absolute max here. The one round they did actually win on Pearl was an anti-bonus.
There's pretty risky stuff from something there, but par for the course. PaperX fans will be very familiar with that.
Let's go!
Now,
เฮ้
of
ย
course,
เฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ยเฮ้ย
fire
เฮ้ย
here
เฮ้ย
from PRX.
เฮ้ยมันดุจังวะเยี่ยมไปเลยมันดุจังวะ
Bucky.
PaperX have 3 players B main, time to
Ui,
walk
ui,
right at the attacking team, as they always do. Heretics, they're patient, they're waiting, but they're losing the duels. Great trade from Rienz, though.
แย่แล้ว
One
ว่า
way something tries to put together on a
เฮ้ย
dime,
อเล็ก
but
ไป
Rienz is
ทำ
a
อะไร
little bit
มา
quicker. Now we'll remove the presence
อ
from
เล็ก
mid.
มึงทำอะไรเปเปอร์เล็ก
Seconds
มา
to take
เฮ้ย
advantage of this space is given up. There will be a turret spot him out.
ไม่เหมือนในแปซิฟิกที่ดูเลยฮะ
Stacked up here alongside Jing. Does the bite match the bark for PRX on this B side?
Now, when Miniboot is alive, they love to go for a bolt in tandem with a recon to take back Yellow, but without him, it's going to be much tougher. Batman wants to fight this, but the Dizzy connects late.
Macing's not there. Jing actually got off that line, but oh, high wingman. He needs to get ahead of it though. The span's coming in through the smoke. Still, PRX cut down to 2. He's mistaken with the Bucky.
Last player
และไอ้บู
standing.
ถือ
It's
มี
all
ด
going to be on Divine now.
ไอ้บูถือมีดทำไมวะทุกคน
Benji and Woot.
ไอ้
Arms
บู
to
จะ
the
เอา
teeth.
มีดไปฟันไข่เปล่าวะเมื่อกี้
Just yet.
อะ
But no wingman to get it done for free.
มันรีบไปไหนเหรอ
Slow this down.
30
Catch
seconds
Divide.
left.
He's pushing.
Divide ได้สอง
He's speaking out, and wow, he gets another.
โอ้
Heretics, they convert the
ไอ้
anti-bonus
เหี้ยทำไม
as
มัน
they
เสี
did
ย
on
เยอะจังวะ
Pearl, but they escape with only 1 gun. That is devastating for their economy.
Although the spacing looks better trading into that B side
มี
of the
มิ
map.
นิ
They
มาช่วยเหรอ
heavy casualties to do so.
Player standing.
Perhaps they're starting to get a feel for that up-tempo style. The PRX are trying to
แน่
control them
แน่
defensively.
ได้ตะโกนบ้าง ได้ตะโกนบ้าง ไอสัตว์แมปที่แล้วนั่งน้ำลายบูดเลยฮะไอเฮติก
Didn't win the duel.
จบแมปแรกคือต้องแปรงฟันน่ะ
Called it out on desk that Minibu does need to step up. He is
ไม่ได้
getting
พู
so
ดเลยฮะ
much
ไม่ได้
detail
ตะ
on
โก
this
น
map
เลย
drive when they're on attack. He needs to come to life.
Something already wants to assert himself today as the Al drone starts to make a foray on the B side of the map.
แมปแรกได้ตะโกนทีนึงเหมือนกัน
It's like Patman wants to play safe for the time being. It's something with an
และ
outlaw
ที่
this
เหลือ
round.
หายเลี่ยม
Posts up on that deep A line. Wants to go even further off the
แปรง
drone.
ฟันเลยฮะ เราไม่ได้พูด
Forsaken
นาน
is
น้ำลาย
sent
มันบู
for
ด
him.
เนี่ย
Does actually spot
ไป
out
น้องไป
Boom.
One way will be refreshed.
ชิบหายแล้ว
Patman the edge, but it's going to be a dizzy on out. Patman already
โอ้
on
เรา
the
ไม่โดน
spray.
แฟลชได้ไง
He
วะ
got his.
แม่งปลาเลย
They're slowed up somewhat on their way over towards this B
อะไร
side of the
ข้าง
map.
ล่าง
Now that Viper Wall is something they can play from behind.
และเจ็บหมดเลย พี่บูธพี่มินิบู
That was a great way to fight that
โอ้
from
จริง
Team
แม่งวัน
Heretics.
เวเละเทะเลยฮะ
Multiple players jumping out to face together off
เฮียโอ
of
เมน
that
แบบ
dizzy
นี้ว่ะน่าสนใจ
crosshair.
ว่ะ
Thrown to break it by a
But I don't mean
defender.
Viper,
Something
yeah.
now posted up at mid. You can see Paper Rex on the rotates, getting towards this B side. Will Benji catch the timing?
He's got a player though coming from his left. He might not be ready for the two push. And there it is. Once again, PRX give as good as they get.
Rifle
Who did
upgrade
that?
for Divine now as
Ooh.
well. Luke Solo. These shotguns have done tremendous damage. It's going to force out the Thrash. Can it actually get a connection? And even if it does, can anyone get a kill off of it? No.
Decent ping though on the side of PRX, but here is Forsaken with the
Oh.
open. Jing wants to try and push up. Wood is very, very low, but there's still a spike to defend now. Heretics just going to try and hang on here. Hold on against this relentless onslaught, but Divine wraps on yellow. And Wood just has nowhere to go.
Paper Rex on this map are just so oppressive. They're taking so much forward space, and they're so happy to make fast, bold defensive pivots off of that information to stack proper sites. This was a great moment for Team Heretics that we highlighted, but from there you just have Forsaken coming back in with the very rare Icebox Odin.
One enemy remaining.
Heretics at least tried to manipulate the pace, or at least dictate it to some degree, but Paper Rex are always asking for more, always trying to assume some of that real estate, that mid-push that catches Benji out.
ทำไมโอดินในเจสันไม่เหมือนโอดินในอาร์ตวะ
Heretics are going to be on the clock every single attack side round.
And here we go, 3 players ready to fight from Paper Rex towards A, and they find another first blood.
And it's Minibu down at the start of the round again. Wyatt. Something. He's on the line, able to get back, and he knows there's more where that came from. The
ปื
shorty.
นตก
He's thirsty for
โอ้
it.
อะไรวะเฮเลติกอันนี้หาปะเนี่ย อันนี้ทีมหาเหรอ
Another stunning
Halatic.
start to the
Yeah.
game. This, by the way, is a team, PRX, that has an 83% attack side win rate on Ice One. So God forbid we get to that part of the map and they're ahead.
Now even at this juncture in the game, they've beaten Team Heretics to getting multiple
หวาน
ultimates.
จัด
The one that Heretics did have, that Thrash, had already been used by Wu to try and convert that pivotal gun round. It was unfortunately lost for them.
One enemy remaining.
The economy for Paper Rex getting out of control, and Heretics, they have opted to go for another early timeout here. You certainly can't blame them.
แจมจันอยู่ไหนวะ
Needs to
โอ้
get
กูให้มึง5 พ
these
ร
guys
เลย
heads back in the
มึงไม่มี
game.
ทางชนะ
and
มันแล้ว
back in for the first time.
You know, some players, they talk about how things slow down when they get into the server, right? Feels like you're walking through molasses, time slows. I feel like against Paper Rex, it's the opposite. These guys set those phases to warp feed and make it very, very hard to stand on even footing at this pace of play. And Heretics have been that kind of team that have wanted to dictate said pace, right? They play Neon on this map, for God's sake. They want to make these fast rotates, take that mid-control, be the ones that forces you to be reactive, but they have never, in this series so far, been in that position.
When they've gotten dominant wins in their run in EU, it has come from being relentless with that pace by disrupting the defenders with the Neon. But you can see that they've gone into this with as they intend, because they know that Paper Rex are just going to be sending it at them on defense. So they're not getting off to those fast, aggressive starts that they want to. They're not able to claim that space early. Forced to use a lot of utility and try to re-clear late, and most of these rounds they're just losing the opening tools. Neil said on map 1 they did not bring their A game. In fact, they were nowhere near it. Only 2 rounds to their name at this point across this series.
Okay. Now no turret to
เหี้ย
play
มี
off
เซ
of
ต
in
อัพ
kitchen.
ทำลาย
Nice little
ป้อ
lineup.
มไอ้เหี้ยเอาเรื่องเว้ยเฮ้ย
And already there's one ways being set up.
มันก็ต้องมีบ้างแหละไอ้
And
สัตว์
occasionally
มันเป็น
to
โปรเบ
swing
เยอ
on
ร์
them.
เว้ย
He hears DC come out, so he knows there's
ธรรมดาเป็นเรื่องธรรมดา
Heretic's footsteps on this B side of the map. Device been drawn over in that direction
โด
to
นกระ
assist.
ทืบโดนกระทืบ
NG with the curry spot. Okay.
Yeah,
Not
gatuub.
too shabby, my friend. Holds it down admirably. That is definitely going to throw a wrench in the works for PRX, and now that lockdown will allow Devi to at least get some space. Rienz is waiting
จะ
for
รั
it.
กไก่อะจะรักไก่
By the
อะ
players who were able to just get out of that lockdown circle, play in the corner. Credit to Benji fishing. He just wins it out straight up.
Planted.
2 for 1. And then Patman was trying to anchor
เล่น
back
มัน
yellow.
ชั่ว
That's
โม
a
งที
position that you really can't be
เฮ
in
เล
alone
ทิก
against
ได้
Team
สอง
Heretics.
วินนะวินที่ 3กำลังมาครับ
Jing has got very little to see.
เชี่ยมันเลวร้ายเลยขนาดนั้นนะตอนนี้เฮเลทิก
Yeah, I like
ส
they just
ภา
try
พ
and
จิต
walk
ใจ
away.
ตอนนี้กำลังแบบหมอง
From this
หม่น
one with
แบบ
weapon intact, even though there's
เละเลยอะ
currency here for PRX to continue to take some risks and try and keep a lid on the economy. Jing does not like his chances.
That anti-eco flawless they had earlier has put them in an excellent economic position. But like you said, might as well just save, keep the cash rolling for PaperX even in this round loss. I think Patman is realized on this one that
ทำไมภาพผมมันกระตุก
trying to anchor back
May have
yellow
been
solo
theฝั่ง net
against the way the Team Heretics like to fight
Ni
towards
ดู
B
ปกติ
is not going to be the right choice. They send too much util back there. It's tough to deal with the Neon.
But Benji's ready for this inevitable mid push, and I think Devi does not account for the pocket that's left in the corner of that A side by the lockdown. He sort of doesn't check this at all.
ult is ready.
I know.
Rienz, I
I
think
know.
it would
Guys,
have-
already, guys, we're double the rounds from last map.
It's a positive.
Guys got that quick math.
They'll take it. They'll take it. I mean, for a team like Heretics who are just filled with talented mechanical shooters, that's the first time any of them have really gotten a highlight-worthy play. Credit to Benji.
Hunter's Fury now from Rienz. Speculative.
ไม่ได้ใครเลย
Any information whatsoever. They are aware, of course, that the Odin is in attendance today.
And those would be positions that PaperX would typically love to just play into, but it's actually towards B where they've gone full aggro, something posted up close with Patman, and that's allowing the rest of their squad to be pretty steadfast towards this A site. Odin is going to be obnoxious to deal with.
Deploying
But
drone.
no one was watching pipes at the time.
ปัก
So they can actually get
อัน
back.
ติแก้ฮะ
This could
เจ
get
สัน
dangerous, but now that the lockdown is used, that Hunter's Fury going
Ooh,
is
anti-
going
Ui,
to
ui,
need to be
ไม่ใช้
extended
อันติ
to
ด้วยเหรอ
break it unless they just intend on getting out of here,
ใช่นี่หว่า
which is
อ๋อ
going
แล้ว
to
ก็
be
เหลื
the
อ
case.
เหลือยิงคนปะเนี่ย
Not hit.
อ๋อไม่ได้ทำ
That
อะไร
lockdown will be intact. And now Heretics able to make use of that to get
Hey,
entrenched
retake
with this A side.
And they're going to want to use this Hunter's Fury with the paranoia.
เล่นเร็วเลย
In. This is fast. This
เล่น
is
เร็วเลย
basic PaperX.
Here comes the Hunter's Fury, but later as it is,
Ui,
there's going to
nó
be
kinh
Jing going
เอาไป
to
2
work,
แบบ
but
เร็ว
he's gotten in and under raft.
Woo.
Something at a time, they're going to
What?
get it. It's Benji that answers that late
Player
round
standing.
lurk. Wu deals with Forsaken. Jing gets his tap. He was already able to find these first 2 kills. But to expect him to make it 5, even for him, might be a little bit too
เอ้ย
much.
เอ้ยวูด
Wu with the shoulder
Wood
pick shot
ding
through
rồi
the
đi,
knees, still
Wood.
the adventurer, though. Boo and Benji happy just to stay entrenched. A hard fought
Ui.
for Heretics, and finally
มันต้องอะไรแบบนี้เว้ย ไปเลย
forced to throw the brakes on.
Woo beginning to hit
Ma.
some shots. I'm going to need to see that Benji one on the replay from his point of view, please. That looked
ถอนขน
ridiculous.
ไก่กับถอนขน
Something
น
on
ก
the
ใช้เวลา
updraft,
เท่า
the
กัน
blade sword just
ดังนั้น
plucked out
กู
of
เล
the
ย
air.
เลือกที่จะถอนขนหมู
กูจะถอนเงินจากเว็บ
Picking up a little bit individually.
ไก่นกเฮียอะไรล่ะ
That is a mental
Lùi
shot
quá,
from
Heretic.
Benji, who is starting to hit.
Still cranking 90. Good to see.
PaperX, they're on defense. They do display something that they are typically very good at, which is very quick floods with excellent utility. Now here, more
Wait,
classic
kasi
PaperX,
con.
4-man push up towards this A side, getting all of the space, collecting that orb, and then they post someone up and immediately go stack the other side. This is the name of the game for them on this map.
Once again, though, it's just going to be Devi B for now. Hammond one away from that. Viper
Why?
Benji again. Waits to
Hitting.
push up.
He's hitting.
เฮ้ย
Trying to drag his heat
เฮ้ย
down, but Benji
อะไร
away.
วู้
Oh, this is
โอ้ย
Benji Fishy.
โอ้ยโอ้ยโอ้ยโอ้ยโอ้ยโอ้ย
Caught by the paranoia, forced to give him some ground, but now the youngster has some wind
เอา
in his
แล้ว
sails.
เอาแล้วเบน vs เปเปอร์เล็ก
Right, Wingman is going to be thwarted in his plant attempt, but the Thrash is going to go ahead now to pave the way. Surely Jing spotted now, detained. He's got Divider watching. Relay bomb comes in, a mini boo with a slide across.
โอ้
Heretics
แดม
gun just in case he's
Let's go, man.
throwing hands without his gun, I guess.
ถอนขนไก่
Why
กับถอน
not?
ขนนก
Alright,
มัน
then
ใช้
he's
เว
heating
ลา
up. It looks
เท่า
like he's
กัน
playing
แต่หนู
aim
เลือก
train.
ถอน
Just
ขน
has
บ่อย
guys from all different angles swinging onto him. That awareness to catch the second that was coming out
กู
of
บาซิเลียน
aim
แบ็กเว้ย
was so
อ่าน
nice. And that is a read on a typical Paper Rex play. No,
Let's go.
when they're making that full rotate, there's going to be someone that's pushed up in
Jesus.
A main.
4-2 is Heretics' Icebox record. The only losses to Fnatic. In fact, 5 out of 7 of their map losses in EMEA, stage 1, including playoffs, were to Fnatic.
When you watch them play against any other team in EU on this run, they look like world beaters. But Fnatic
อ้า
have
วมี
had
พอร์ต
their
มี
number.
พอร์ตเหมือนกันนี่หว่า
They've been able to
มีพอร์ตเหมือนกันนี่หว่า
really counter
โด
the
น
way
บ้าง
they're
ครับ
playing. PRX, early
โอ้ย
on they were countering it, but in a
อะไร
totally
วะน่ะ
different way than how Fnatic actually opted to.
ลุยวิ
Very
กทอง
proud to debut our new reinforced
ใช่ไหม
tungsten carbide 1088
รวย
steel
นี่หว่า
cables just for this
เล็กต้อง
occasion.
รวยนี่หว่า
I tried to elbow drop wide into it. It held. So good luck, Alex, breaking this one.
โอ้โหซ้ายโรเล็กขวาหรือวิกทอง
Bit of a Wolf
ไอ้เหี้ย
Jericho.
แค่แขนก็ล้านหนึ่งแล้ว
And again, first time in this whole series that Paper Rex have been put in a position to have to call this timeout. They've been struggling a little bit to hold on
ไอ้
to
เหี้ย
the
ยาลิสกู300,000แขน
Even though they
แข
were
น
fresh in that
แขน
one way.
ข้อมืออเล็กล้านหนึ่ง
still being overwhelmed.
ไอ้เหี้ยแม่งคนละ
How
รุ่น
will
เลย
Paper
ว่ะ
Rex adjust out of this? They're going to be on a half buy here to the extent that they can at least get a hero rifle over to Jing, who obviously has been playing very well. Some highlight moments already, especially on that raise back on Pearl. But this is one of the maps where
ซ้ายโรเล็กข
he's
วา
not
โร
playing this. It's just not what they like to do. They just love this very standard comp, and they've had a lot of success
ดี
with
นะ
it.
ผมไม่ค่อยซื้อแบรนด์ทำไมอ่ะ
Benji so far has been
เดี๋ยวไม่ฉลาดนะครับคุณทนาย
playing that mid. That's where so many
ต้อง
of those
กิน
kills
แบนนะ
have originated from. PRX is not respecting
จะเป็น
Heretics.
ทนายได้ยังไง
Forced to bend the knee somewhat.
โลพ่อมึงไง
This
นิก
Viper's pit down. That's a fairly big commitment here. You do have Patman with that close range stinger to try and find
คำพูด
an
ติด
opening,
อ่าง
shut
เดี๋ยว
down
กู
and
เตะ
execute
ติด
if it comes in, and you're just
Hey,
expecting from Team Heretics at some point if they
Hey,
intend
Pela.
on getting into this pit, which certainly looks like they're going to do. You're waiting for Riens to use this owl drone, clear things out.
Take flight. Jing with the hero rifle will watch the mid pivot, but yep, there's going to be action over here towards the pit.
That man cute, but not good enough.
Tries to outfox the owl
I
drone.
respect it. I respect the attempt.
Tabai gets up on that line pretty quick. Miniboo, who's been quiet in this series, and in
โอ้
this
ย
match,
โอ้ยผิว
needs to be a bit of a nuisance.
โอ้ย
Remains at large here over the site. And Snakebite's going to make it hard to play in from upper rafters. This is good looks. The hero rifle is still in play. Jing might try and wager it for something here. We'll take a pretty prescribed location, one that's going to be watched for at the back of the site. Heretics have seen enough.
เอาแล้วมาแล้ว
Got
นะ
the opportunity to step up.
ไอ้เหี้ยค่าเสือกแม่งแพงกูบอกเลยงาน
Somebody
เนี้ย
walks around potentially, but once more, he will be sorely outgunned, outnumbered. And outdone
Sweet
by
Ben.
Benji. Flawless round here for Team Heretics. Finally steering the ship with the wind.
They're going to have an opportunity now as well to get a
คำ
lockdown.
พูดโจกโจรลุยโคนทำไม
One away. Pat
คืออะไร
Benji
อ่ะ
time that? Hey, I'm not mad at it.
เอ้ย
He's got the stinger.
คำพูดโจกโจรลุยโคนทำไม
Go for it. But he is caught out. And you can just see from Miniboo's point of view there, hitting this A site, how
อัน
many
นี้
options he
คำพูด
has
โจกโจรลุย
playing
คน
the
ทำไม
Neon, getting into so many
เอาแล้ว
unexpected
เอาแล้ว
unorthodox
เล็กบ่น
positions
เล็กบ่น
there.
ไอ้รอน
Incredibly
กูให้
effective.
โอกาสมึงลุกออกมาก่อนที่มึงจะบี้ มึงจะลุกไหม
And that is the adjustment that was certainly called on that.
ถ้าครึ่งแรกจบ 8-4 แนะนำให้ลุก
Towards mid, doubled up with Jing. A bit of protection for him.
Turret just got cleared. Looks like the go signal there for Heretics on the B side. They've just indulged in a surge forward here at B.
And their main intention really was to get that orb, get the lockdown. Recon is sent in to clear out back yellow from Riens.
this
Last
way
lane, pretending, hey, we are getting that position back yellow. Shocks as well, and now we're going to slowly pivot back. The
รอน
Spike
ขยิบ
just
ตา
been over there
แสดง
with
ว่า
Recon
ลางไม่
the
ดี
entire
เขาเรียกว่า
time.
ตากระตุก
This is the danger. Something has been waiting for this
แนะนำให้
cross.
รอนลุกนะ
On a very tight line. He's going to see
Sweet.
one.
I
That's
knew.
Rien's trying to cross. Dealt with. Something wants to repost the line, but very quickly, Heretics all got across to A. And he's going to know that in a couple of seconds.
And look at Paper Rex, they're already rotating off this B site. They have Patman and Deep Yellow, and the other two players are making their way to A with some haste, and they try to flood in. They might. No, not with that lockdown, though. certainly going to be kept at bay.
I don't think PRX have the
ต้องออกก่อนครับ
mechanism
ได้
which
วางนะ
sort of
โพสต์แพน
defense.
นะ
They can respect and pull off the
โพสต์แพน
side.
นะครับ
Early rotate now, kind of nullified. We're going to get a plant down. Heretics look to dig in here and anchor.
Looks like they want to come right
Awa,
back in.
awa,
Recon,
awa,
Paranoia.
awa.
Here come Paper Rex.
Heretics Viper's Pit now to play with Woot.
อุ้ยจะตายจะตาย
Ensconced
วุด
safely
วุด
within
วุด
the poison walls. If the Forsaken sees this easy come his way, happy to spam through. Eventually PRX are going to have to
Boo.
commit. Woot has been dealt with. The Viper though, spawning the
เฮี
pit
ยบู
still
อยู่
at
ข้างบน
large.
ข้างไงอ่ะ
Jing wants to get past this now, spamming Boo's direction. Mini Boo though dealt with. Batman is in here, sees the Viper, and there it is. The wall comes down, as does the curtain on Heretics in this round. Boo with a parting gift, but that's all that Heretics can muster.
มึง
Overwhelmed
ถือ
by the
ของกัน
numbers,
หมด
the
เล
real
ยอ่ะ มึง
positions
ถือ
deep
ปืน
side.
นี่
Paper Rex are just able to get right back in for free and overwhelm everyone in that pit. It's somebody getting that opening kill, and then Spam connects on to Woot. Cooked from there.
You see how much PRX invest in getting that midline held. They send Jing with something. And then whichever way you slice it, whichever way they rotate, something is going to see someone.
Benji Fishy is actually picking up this attack operator, and it makes sense with the way that Paper X play. Exploit their aggression, allow them to make their
Benji
way
Fishy.
into the angle that you're holding to get an opening kill. Keep the game slowed down.
Alarm bot out.
Benji here to very passive play. He's just watching for the tube push down. That's not the plan for PRX this round, apparently. Once again, it's the one way being set up by Jing for the sake of Pac-Man, the solo B player right now.
โอ้หน้าขึ้นไปกดหัวแม่ง
Orb
สักที
taken
ห
by
นึ่ง
Forsaken into the deep drone on A. We have read this story before. The Paper X try to adjust some of their players more towards that B side. Patman feels the need to retreat, at least temporarily. Recon for back yellow yet again. Here comes that Dizzy. Team Heretics making their way in, claiming this space.
โดนเบรก
At
ครับ
some
ไม่
point
ให้
they had
แฟ
to
น
disrespect the
ง่าย
one way.
ๆ
They
ครับ
had
เป็น
to
เล็ก
get moving.
อุ้ยเบน
Heretics now
เฮ้ย
have yellow control.
เฮ้ยเบนสุดไหนอ่ะ
Waiting for mid. He might not get anything with that op here.
Team Heretics, they do need to wait for
แล้ว
this
เล่น
wall
เลย
to
ฝั่ง
come.
นู้น
Oh
เล่น
my
เล
God,
ย
Paper Rex, they just want to go in off the Paranoia with a recon.
Looking for their own timing, march into the
Oi,
beat.
oi, oi, oi.
Back.
Oi.
Woot.
Oi.
Stunning mosh pit there to
Oi,
show
อะไรวะเนี่ย
Paper
อุ้ย
Rex
เปเปอร์เล็ก
He's two. And Benji's not
เฮีย
in
เป
a
เปอร์
hurry
เล็
to
ก
get
แม่งใจ
involved.
ถึงว่ะ
Heretics have done well to trade up on this B side. This is
เฮียเปเปอร์เล็ก
drawn
แม่ง
something
เอา
of
เลย
Forsaken
ฮะ
across the map.
สไตล์เขาจริง
We're
ๆอึ
going
ด
to have an
อัดงัด
advantage
เลย
attack side post plant.
Planted.
This is looking
Yeah.
highly awkward towards
เพ
mid.
แบบ
Forsaken
เพดุจัดอะ
left on an island towards B, just
อุ้ย
wants
แล้ว
to
ย่องเข้ามา
slowly
ฟอร์ต
move
เคน
forward. Boost
ทำไม่ดี
direction, get this
อู้
kill. What a snappy shot!
Now, have to deal with Woot tucked in corner by Yellow. Doesn't want to give himself up a Forsaken.
เอา
Don't even think about
ส
the
ลับ
no-shot.
ทำไม
Here comes the thrash. Something knows he now needs to gain some altitude, but finally Benji is rewarded for his patience in the round.
That lurking operator comes in at the very end. The final hour.
สลับปุ๊บโดนลงโทษเลยฮะ
That was interesting for Paper Rex that they go for this pre-flight attempt before there's any effort to actually get the spike down. The wingman wasn't planting,
โอ้
wasn't really a push forward. They just
Oh,
tried
Jason,
to
Leo
catch raw timing. It does not work out. We're finally seeing
Yeah, I guess
the Alex that we
เอา
know.
แล้ว
the
เอาแล้ว
question
มี
is like,
เสียง
what
ดั
is
ง
the
แล้วฮะ
cue
มี
that
เสียงดังแล้ว
PRX
ฮะ
are playing off of
มี
there?
เสียง
They're
ดัง
just
มา
trying
บ้าง
to
ครับ แล้วโจนนะ
manufacture
ไปเพื่อเล็ก
their own.
จะจบ7-5หรือเปล่า แล้ว
Jack's
หู
with
มา
us,
เร็ว
we got
เลย
Smosh Pit.
มินิ
Out
บู
here's
ซิ่ง
the pace
ซิ่ง
from Team
แพ
Heretics
ทเนียน แพท
getting
แพทได้หนึ่ง
on
ก็ถือ
back
ว่า
yellow quickly.
แจ่มละแพท
They know Patman could be in
แพท
this
ว่าไงแพท
poison cloud, so some shocks going in there, but they don't actually connect any damage, but forced to retreat.
Definitely a bigger commitment to the B side by PRX in this round. Hunter's Fury locked down, both available here in the last round of the half for the defenders. So behind the Viper's pit, here come Heretics. They are really looking to take some snowman space potentially
งัด
here.
อีกแล้วไปเพื่อเล็กงัดอีกแล้ว งัดอีกแล้วเหรอ
Timing doesn't pay off once more.
อุ๊ย
Hunter's
โดน
Fury now for Forsaken. Gets a tap on Benji. Still no plant yet.
เอาแล้วยังไม่วางทำไม
That
อะ
Hunter's
อ
Fury
อกไป
just
เอ
used a little
ฮะ
bit late. Boo has
ใช่
gotten
เหร
his
อ
way
ดีไหมเนี่ย
all into the A site, and there's more than enough time for Team
Forsaken has the
Heretics to
ตรงกลาง
make
อะ
this
ดิ
yeah, if Forsaken can catch a
ตรง
couple
กลาง
in
อะ
mid,
ดิ
though.
Is he
ลำบากแล้วครับ
too
เจ
far
สัน
forward? High-low setup. That is brilliant.
เรีย
Heretics
บร้อยเลย
always
เม็ด
aware.
เดียวเลยครับพี่วู
The
ด
thrust up mid from the defenders we've seen it all half
พี่
so
วุฒ
far.
ให้เม็ดเดียวเลย
Bomb grenade
That is a great double face there.
30 seconds left.
All right, now the little things are beginning to come together for Team Heretics, and we're finally seeing a Paper Rex who were utterly dominant, now struggling a bit with some of their timings. Again, they refight into B before there's any attempt to get the spike down. That Hunter's Fury comes a little bit late, and Heretics just have their crosshairs placed on all of the angles that they can be pushing out from.
ปล่อยเสียง
Mid that really held PRX at bay. But PRX on the attack side of this map, really, really strong. 83% win rate through Pacific Stage 1. Lossless on this map.
We've seen when Heretics have had success on Icebox too, it's actually typically, as far as the scoreboard, Benji Fishy and Woot that are putting up the big numbers as Minibu draws a lot of that attention on the Neon. This is fast right now from Paper Rex, collecting too early.
And this mid thrust here from Heretics might have fumbled. Rian's waiting. Hips in the night, yet to leave poor, but eventually someone's going to raise anchor and get to it. Rian gives himself away. Jing wins it out. What an ill-fated encounter for Heretics, and it's up to Boo again. Boy howdy, what a mountain he has to climb. Spike, of course, already planted. This is what you ask for PRX fans. Getting off to a good start with a pistol win here.
All they've had are good starts. They've won every single pistol. If Team Heretics could win this map without either pistol round win, that would be a tremendous feat for them.
And they've shrunk, of course, the lead to a singular round. And once again, it's a short round, Wyatt. This early engagement here in mid. Jing sees action over on the B side, gets involved there, then whips around. That's an all-timer. That's an all-timer.
He knows someone is there because he couldn't move forward.
His body blocked.
Hold up.
Let's go, boys! Woo! Our pistol won.
All right.
วันนี้มี2คู่ฮะ
PRX are just too good on these pistol rounds. It's going to be Miniboo investing actually into the Marshall for Heretics on that deep angle from yellow over towards B. Pretty
เร็วจัง
standard there with the shock and the molly to deny that early access to the orb from the defending team.
Benji is absolutely playing the most important position on the map. Just as we saw from something in the previous half. Unsurprisingly, Patman's moved up. Minibu punished though on that little swing. Tried to set him up with a Marshall.
เฮ้ย เอ้า เฮ้ย
Ruined.
โอ้โห
Right over there, given no space at
เจ็บ
yellow
เจ็บ
whatsoever, and Boo now is about to feel the
แบ
net
บ
closing
ชิ
in.
วๆฮะ
Patman up walkway sees what was that? Okay. Up on the ledge he goes.
โอ้
There's a peek up,
เหรีย
but
ญ
Rienz is able to find his brace of 2. Once again, though, it's a heavily disadvantaged situation. Rienz desperately trying to avert an even game here. Likely has too much on his plate. Devaya will silence him.
Fair enough, bringing the 3 most important rifles into the next round. Cash from the spike plan as well, so Paper Rex will be more than happy with that. Team Heretics have done a nice job on these anti-bonus rounds. That has kept them in the game
One
here.
enemy.
Otherwise, things would have really spiraled out of control early. Some nice shots from Rienz, who is just a consistent presence for Heretics. For me, really just has all of the aspects of the game
โฟร์สเกน
on
มัน
lock.
เงียบๆนี่เอ
Really
ง
do it all.
มันเล
The
ยแบบ
Heretics team have said we are not kids anymore. We're not rookies. There's no
มันเลยไม่ได้
excuse
หนั
for
ก
us
หนา
to
สาหัสมาก นี่
drop
เจสั
these
นมัน
important
เงียบ
matches,
นะ
and they've recovered well here
แต่
on
เจสัน
Icebox.
มัน
but
มีเสียงอะเมื่อไหร่ล่ะ เอา
might be the
เอา
playing here in this round is
ไอ้ห่าโหนไปโหนมาเดี๋ยวเสียชีวิตนะ
healthy bonus for PRX.
Taking the time at the moment, something has been allowed to take all the space and be made. Oh no, that is disastrous. Boo just doesn't think that someone would be
โอ้
that
โดน
close.
ทีมแบบง่ายๆ
Last
เล
time
ย
was
อะ
Minibu got caught out at yellow. This time, Boo has just got a little bit too close to the sun.
Swarm grenade out.
Bear in mind, this is Team Heretics with absolutely
แล้วเสร็จแพท
nothing
แน่นอน
left in the bank. This is must win at the moment, Patman. This fight is so
โอ้โห
awkward.
เบน
Easy as it gets.
The late paranoia comes in, but Patman definitely supported in that engagement. Something eventually that was put to bed on the B side of the map, and this has precipitated a pivot. Now with mid control, PRX can go towards A and not worry about getting caught, but it's a pump fake.
What a timing for Patman to catch, and they have Forsaken playing towards A again. They could really pivot anywhere here. It's just, we're playing TDM, who wins that out.
Patman the Viper.
The use of mental
The
realm.
stabilizing element of PRX, by the way, is just taking duels across the map. And he has opened it
บริษัท
wide on up
จี
for
น
PRX.
ฮะ
Minibu has to play second fiddle now and try and make use of
บริ
that
ษัทจี
mobility
น
across
มา
the
แน่
map. Wood is already set up in Crow's Nest though.
does have the wingman to actually pressure a defuse.
เขาว่าบริษัท
swing out.
มา
That's a way in.
ไม่
Find a pick.
พนักงานมาไม่ครบ
Small gap in that smoke. Will be challenged. Would have to drop down, and the
บริษัท
spacing
มา
isn't
พนักงาน
quite
มาไม่
there
ครบนะ
apparently. Minibu steps out only to be riddled with Vandal shots.
PRX are just so ready to swing
บริ
together
ษัท
at
มาพ
any
นักงานมา
audio
ไม่
cue.
ครบ
Boo so frustrated in this moment, not expecting that anyone can be pushed up that close. Something got pulled out for free.
นี่กูทำในบอลเสร็จแล้ว
โคตรกากเลย
Oh man, that was.
เอาดี
I mean, Ben's has been credited with some very sharp moments.
Messi.
Especially on this map, looking to shut down something as he wrapped over towards belts many rounds ago.
เมสซี่
เล่น
โค
ทีเดีย
ต
ม
ร
2 ตัว
โค
เล่น
ต
ที
ร
เดียม 2
โห
ตัว
ด
Inheritance, they're bringing in 5 sheriffs, 5 regen armors. Obviously, they have the shooters to pull off
ไม่
a
อยู่คนเดียว
round like
เพื่อน
this.
กูไปไหนหมดอะ
Minibu forced off
มันรู้อ
pipes
ยู่
there.
เนี่ยมันไปไหนกันหมดตั้งแต่นานแล้วเนี่ย
410 smoked out.
เข้าไปเทลแลนด์
Something in the staging ground.
เรา
They
ไป
all
โพส
in
ต์หา
raft
ดิ
as Heretics committed
โพ
to
สต์จริง
anchoring this site with these
ๆ
sheriffs.
โพสต์จริงๆยุทธพงศ์ปรับใหญ่
How
กับ
far does
ก
their
ระชา
gun
บอล
skill
ทวี
get them
เอา
against
โดน
a
ดีกว่า
fully armed
ใช่ปะ
PRX team
โดน
on a
ดี
roll?
เหี้ย
Listen, they've got the right
They
stack
go
to
to
do
the
it.
corner
Weapons
and
might be
win
decent enough. Something shut down early. They're trying to get into this site. PRX Genius.
อ้าว
But he can't connect.
มาดิ
Divine Forsaken now, got to pick it up, but there is Forsaken. Quick response. And he doubles down. Oh,
He's susceptible to just one shot from it, but he's able to get out of the way.
Ooh.
Again. Read by Riens. He's too smart,
อูโด
too aware.
Yeah,
ได้
with the
ครั
Fury
บ
of Olympia
ถ้าข้าว
now,
เหนียวผม
Divine
มา
has
จ่าย
to
ค่าเสีย
recover the
ให้
spike and put this together. Both of his opponents.
เดี๋ยวกูจะไปคว้าเงินในกลับกับมึงไม่ต้องห่วง
He has a Vandal to his name.
He has to fear a potential flank because he was out of range from the turret that was placed. Wants to double
แนท
back
ติด
now.
ปัญหา
30
วีซ่า
seconds
ครับ
to
เพนนี่
play
เอส
with.
มา
Does
แท
he
น
just try to clear
เฮ้ย
this out, get back to
แถมได้ซ้อม
try to
ด้วย
gut it
กัน
to
ก่อน
B.
แข่งแค่วันเดียว เพนนี่นะ
He
I've got a
wants to
passive
leave.
mid-angle.
He wants
Two
to
knee.
leave. He's hoping that in this situation, Team Heretics
เอา
will
ดิ
just
ในบัฟมันลง
leave
มา
the
ตอนนี้
two
ดิ
on
ไอ้
A
ติดตัวเอง
and
ไปเลย
then
รายงานเหรอ
go for that advantage
ไม่ใช่
retake
ยิง
over
ไอ้สัตว์
towards B. But when the spike
Yeah.
goes down, that will allow a rifle to be collected
10 seconds
perhaps.
left.
Or no, they just want to go for this with the sheriffs. Riens does have a recon.
Divine has a turret to play contact off potentially. Does he have the time to set it up? Yes.
แชทกูหายไปไหนเนี่ยมาละ
Not too bad to have this Sentinel utility at your disposal.
เฮ้ยแล้วมึงไม่เก็บป้องเก็บปืนหน่อยวะไอ้สัตว์
He still has to be weary about this flank as Riens is making his presence known forward.
กูว่าโดนว่ะมีรีคอนเพื่อนมีรีคอน
Get ahead of the Owl drone. Does he have a timing on Boo? Spots him out. Util in hand. Divine is divine. What a Red Bull clutch to keep PRX well and truly on the tracks.
Team Heretics know that that round could have absolutely shifted the momentum, but it's a 4-round run for PRX now in this second half. Disaster for the European side.
Finished.
Forsaken comes up clutch with these 2 kills to get them back into the round.
Enemy remaining.
Both Rans and Boo still pulling up their trousers. Util in hand. Can't play off of each other at all. That is huge.
They feel like they didn't have the time to waste either to collect some of the rifles that were a little bit deeper on that A site. They go for it with the sheriffs. Might be regretting that decision at this point.
Jeez, the tension there between Weber and Nelzinho is palpable. So another timeout here. The last one available to Heretics on this map.
That's an absolute heartbreaker. This is Heretics coming off of obviously a run to qualify here, but then getting blown out in the regional finals against Fnatic. Neil, the coach, saying that was the first time he felt disappointed in the team after that loss.
That hits heavy.
มูลเลอร์มาใหม่เนี่ย
They've been a team for a while. And you heard what he had to say
มูลเลอร์ปะทะเดอะบอยใครเดอะ
just in
บอย
that halftime break. Not looking themselves. Now they've managed to find their way back into the game, but yes, they've got a rifle round coming at you folks, but Hunter's Fury, the Lockdown, Viper's Bit, 3 of the most impactful ultimates you could ask for PRX on the so far flawless attack side. They have 4 rounds in a row put together.
PRX just have the easy 1-2 ult combo right now. Get the space with the lockdown, drop the pit, and they've even got the Hunter's Fury late if the spike is really being pressured by a Team Heretics retake. They've got 2 ults they're relatively close to. Maybe they can get this orb. Maybe Root finds a kill, right? But you're asking about, oh my god, the early Hunter's Fury double
โอ้
connection!
เรียบร้อยจีจีฮะ
This is the round that
2-0
Heretics are trying to shore up
Paper
their
Leg
half
ฮะ
the map. Benji at least is able to lean in,
โอ้
intercede
เจ
to
สัน
find a
โน
kill.
มาย
That is an awful way to start with, and he's pinged out again. He's got to give this ground up.
โอ้
All of the A side now belongs to PRX. Look at the timing though. Heretic's trying to get in ahead of this, but Miniboo is shut down instantly. And Benji, beleaguered as he is, on all sides, guns are trained at the killjoy. And that was
พอด
absolutely
มาโดน
diabolical.
หมัดเร็วของเจ
Something, it's
สั
an
นนะ
amazing deep position there as well, all the way back rafter. That was eventually going to be the nail in the coffin on that round, no matter what.
โดนหมัด
I
เร็ว
was
อะ
talking about Forsaken. He could use that in a post plant or just get an immediate drone tag. A double hit. Jing takes all of the space that was created because of that as well. Oh my God, whatever they had planned in that round, couldn't even begin to guess. I mean, it was just out the window immediately.
That's as the Hunter's Fury comes in. You can
โค
see
ต
Weber
รแม่ง
just
แบบ
throw
พา
his
แม่ง
head
ออก
back.
แล้วอะ
Okay, Heretics, credit to them. Still want to find a burst of speed here, but oh, the boys were waiting for you, Miniboo. You were expected.
จีจีว่ะ
Yeah, just hoping the Forsaken would be in that closer tucked position that Asoba will often be in.
ไอ้เหี้ยสู้ไม่
But
ได้
we're
เล
safe,
ย
playing back for the multiple players to guard him.
It's just filthy.
They're trying to make hero plays. You can't blame them. They've only got sheriffs. PaperX have absolutely shut them down. Their
Oh, don't
economy
need
is
back.
completely out of control.
Oh, hey!
Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
แล้วยิง
All
ทะ
right,
ลุ
thank
มา
you.
โดนหัว
We
อีก
can't have two knives in the debut game.
ไอ้วุฒงง
For hypotension.
We cannot do that.
So very quickly, those 2 rounds fall. Heretics back on a buy. Now with Thrash and Lock now to work with. Like, I like the idea. Heretics obviously with a back-breaking round. They were virtually 2-dimensional after that one. Still want to go forward, play that PRX-esque aggressive B-side play, at least use their neon to get something. But man, I mean, PRX wrote the script for that. They were there when the deep magic was written.
6-round run coming into this with an
เหี้ย
80+%
6
win rate
ราวติด
on attack. We're
100%
seeing
win rate
exactly
เป็นเล็กค
why
รับ
deep recon is going to come through mid, and then something can swing off this with Patman. No one is going to actually be spotted by it. No Benji caught, and there's a teleport into spawn. Disarray for Heretics.
โอ้อะไรวะเนี่ย
Oh man, they're getting clowned on. This is the rifle round they were
ไอ้เหี้ย
trying
ใน EU ไม่เคย
desperately
เจ
to
อแบบ
bail
นี้
water
ฮะ
out of this quickly sinking boat. And they've already been cut down to
ไอ้
3
เหี้ย
players.
เพี้ยน
And
ไป
Patman
เล
is
ย
on
ฮะ
the timing, but there's an
Heretic
awareness here for Woot. He kind of knows it and he's ready.
I was going to say Patman, he's just
Yeah.
in the walls at all times, but Heretics ready. Now this is winnable.
Yep, something spotted out. Here comes a fast retake for Heretics. Good start. Forsaken dealt with Raptors control. Assumed Woot very sharp this round. Thrash here will look to find Divide. Last standing member of PRX. And in midair, he is detained. Heretics come up for air. It's a breather. A brief respite. But boy howdy, look at those wallets on the side of PRX. They are bulging.
Desperately needed round win from Heretics. They're losing players early, and they still manage to pull it off. They do a great job getting back into that site together. The distraction from Raptors, and then you have Woot coming lower.
ไอ้เหี้ยเขาเดินกลางมาดั
I
ง
mean,
โค
the
มโคมเลย
distraction,
เบน
Benji
เอ้
knows he's in
ย
there, but just can't do anything
ไปโถ
about
เบ
it.
นเอ้ยเบนง่ายเกินมาช็อตเนี้ยบูมบอก
Something
ให้
tough in that deep position again is forced to look towards Rafters, and Woot takes advantage of that distraction to get a free kill. This is going to be such an uphill battle for Team Heretics as they have to just face down a PaperX that won't be saving anytime soon, if at all, this half.
It's possible Alex took exception with that round from PRX. I can't be sure. Wow! Oh, but he's not ready. He's clearing the recon, and Jing is just
What?
far ahead of the play for him.
He just double teleports
Yeah.
forward. He gets all of that space for free. You're never expecting it on defense.
เป็นขี้ปะวะ
The only player inside the A site for now, disrespecting the smoke at Rafters, and look at Patman pushed all the way up on B.
He's just got the craziest lurk timings. He's going to have to accelerate a bit. The Team Heretics try to get in off this fast lane. They're getting towards screens. It's slow right now. Relay Bolt doesn't hit something. Here comes the lockdown.
He's going after it. By hook or by crook. Something is looking for this, and there's Patman on the lurk timing. Oh, the lockdown is just popped out from under Heretics.
I can't with this guy. He's crazy.
And now Heretics know they
What
really can't
normally?
play off the side. They've got to commit. They've got to challenge this. Not too shabby there from Miniboo, but Jing deigns to descend from the ivory tower to deal with that blow to the
This is
knee.
winnable.
What?
Patman's too far away.
Can he get a touch?
เฮ้ย
Unreal!
ชนะ
The Red Bull clutch. A crucial one here for Woot as Wingman does the job.
เฮ้ย
Man, they really had to fight scrappy for that one. Wyatt 3 up for Heretics, and they come out with a dub.
ไอ้เหี้ยไม่
His
ได้บู
little pal
อะ
just gives him that effective 2 versus 2. Wins the highest impact 1v1. But talk about Minigu. What an
โอ้โห
adjustment.
มันได้ตัวบนนะดิ
Looks like he's already in the grave when he gets this 3rd kill. What is that, man? What is that?
So Heretics have taken a chunk out of that PRX economy.
อารมณ์ฮะอารม
One
ณ์
round closer
Align.
to their total. There's a lot of work still to do. We're going to have an early Viper's Pit on the B side of the map. PRX clearly no interest in challenging it early this round.
Batman wants to go on another wild adventure. Go up 2 while the rest of the team are focused on Team Heretics triple stacked up. They go drone for drone. Oh my god, the last Hunter's Fury was really solid.
Nice schmooze there from Miniboo.
แล้วโดนด้วยนะ
Avoids what would have been a lethal
ไอ้
connection.
เหี้ย
PRX had to be satisfied with a little bit of damage onto the Neon, but Miniboo also has that overdrive and already. Here's Jing again. They are never ready for Jing.
ไอ้เหี้ยโดนวาร์ปมาเล่นอย่างนี้อีกแล้วครับ
Rian's claps back now, has to drop to the side. This is good anchoring. Can he do with something? No, the shorty. More than he can deal with. And Boo laboriously will drag himself across the map to challenge this.
เอาเพลเละเทะเลยว้า
Jing has just been an absolute animal on both maps. Countless first kills.
Boo here's a double swing. He's going to have to deal with it. Oh, the King's horses and men emerge. Then the Viper is dealt with. Match point now comes up.
2-0 นะ
PRX. There was a narrative, right, if you're a PRX fan? Or even a hater. You're familiar with the feeding narrative, but it's never been less true. With Patman joining this lineup, that stabilizing force. They've been so clean. They've strung together 6 attack side rounds as the half began.
The Heretics on defense have had absolutely no clue how to deal with Jing, getting in these absurd forward teleport positions.
เอ้ย
Playing with so
เพื่อน
much more aggression than you would typically see from Omens on this map. Something connection.
เพิ่งตื่นเหรอ
Damage for damage.
They're both
ตื่นมา
taking
ดู
the
เปเปอ
bait.
ร์เล็ก
Ice Fury now being deployed by Rians. What is there to find here?
ทำมิ่งดี
Comes up with nothing. Patman hears him. How is he here
โอ้แม่ง
already?
วิ่งเป็นเลยอ่ะ
Badly broken on the side of
จริ
Heretics.
งๆวิ่ง
Now
เป็น
back to
เลยวิ่งแบบ
30 points of health
เอ้ย
and slow the PRX train down. But choo-choo, baby. We have more than left the station. Paper Rex have arrived in the 6.
Feels like they've never been faster, actually. 13-1 on the first map. Dominant.
แม่เขาเอาไปยิงคนเดี๋ยวว่าไงสัตว์ฉุนปะ ก่อนจากกันนะครับก็ใครที่ชอบคลิปนะฝากกดไลค์นะครับกด Subscribe นะครับผมก็จะได้เป็นกำลังใจในการทำคลิปต่อๆไปนะครับขอบคุณมากครับ